And freaks, a mad mother fugs. Oh, east side, we're on the east side, and we're the
Fun. Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's still holiday season, just a couple days after Christmas. This is episode 56 of Blown Speakers. Soggy is joining us again from Chiba. How you doing there, Soggy?
Well, thank you. I'm doing well, Dave.
Doing well?
How do I do this? I got to look at the camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
You usually wear glasses. You've thrown me off that you're not wearing glasses today.
Yeah, I know. I've thrown myself off. I can barely even see. No, but it must be done. So I have my reasons.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is a topic.
I'll talk about that later.
This is a topic we've been talking about getting into for a while. The Fugs, legendary mid-60s. What are we going to call them? Garage freak folk experiment.
Just call them fucking legends, man. Like they're like fuck yeah. Yeah, sorry.
But Lester Bangs, I believe it was Lester Bangs who called them the first underground band in America.
And the only band that forgot or doesn't know how to spell the word fuck.
Yeah, well, they took it from Norman Mailer, who it seems like they were friends with, who used the word fug as a euphemism in his book.
Well, that I think, if I recall correctly, what I just said was a quote from Mailer.
Oh, what was it? Can you say it again?
Don't know how to spell the word fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even though they didn't use offensive language,
was delivered by Thule. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
But even though they didn't use offensive language, in the name of the band, they do use a lot of offensive language on the album, I would say.
So it depends on what you would mean by offensive language. There's this great, it's the, I forget, but I believe it was the interview, possibly. It was the interview possibly that I mentioned to you. It was the one with Kerouac, Buckley. Kerouac was Buckley in the firing line interviewing Kerouac.
Ed Sanders is there. Yeah.
And that academic dude and Ed Sanders. And, he says, you're using this foul word. And he's like, what? Kill? Kill? Is that the word? You know what? I think that's actually, no, I think that was another one that I watched where it was Thule. He was like, I don't think you should be using that foul language. He's like, what, the word kill? That's fucking brilliant. That's, as relevant at this moment in time as it ever was, is, and will be, for fuck's sakes. Kill.
Yeah, they certainly cause people
kill
to question
for peace.
Such things. Kill for peace. Yes.
Sorry. I'm gonna keep doing the shit like this, but not just shit.
But when I was saying offensive, I didn't necessarily mean offensive to me. I meant offensive to people in 1965, right? So they stirred up some trouble.
They stirred up a lot of trouble. Yeah, hell yes. Yeah, fuck yes.
But let's see. I was surprised.
I'm gonna stop with the stupid shit.
There's a lot of beautiful photos of them in the Getty Images archive. I was totally not expecting to find these nice, clear, you know, very well labeled, multiple pictures of them. So this is from December 65, right? So you got like the main three, I guess, the three consistent members. Ed Sanders, right? Ken Weaver, who I thought was the drummer, but doesn't appear to be drumming there. All right, Steve. Okay, well, I think the three main guys are the guys in front here, right? So Ed Sanders, Ken Weaver, and Thule Kupferberg. Thule Kupferberg. The name does not roll.
Yep.
Kupferberg.
Rolls off the tongue. Kupferberg.
Yep. And then, Steve Weber.
Yep.
And Pete Kearney. But then a picture earlier in the year, from earlier in the year. This is from December 65. This is from June of 65. And I think one of the members had changed. But anyway, 1965.
They went through a lot of lineup changes, to say the least, but Sanders and Thule. And Weaver
is also considered one of the core members. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I mean, from the original line, right?
And it kind of came to be through Ed Sanders' bookstore, right? Do you know the backstory there? Peace Eye bookstore on the Lower East Side. So we're talking about New York
apparently
City.
His bookstore was across the next door to like Thule's apartment kind of deal or something crazy like that, right? That was
No.
Go ahead.
So that's how they met.
Yeah, no, like I don't know, like one thing that I read was that they were literally like next door to each other. So like his bookstore was right next door to like where Thule was living at that time. So that was what I had read at one point. So
Thule Kupferberg and Ed Sanders are fairly well-known poets. So they're fairly established poets. Connected to the beat scene. It seems like they had a lot of there was a lot going on around them. They had a lot of connections, right? Literary connections. Very much in that scene, right? New York City, mid-60s. What's that?
Harry Smith and Allen Ginsberg, for starters.
Yeah, the album was produced by Harry Smith, which I think probably means he just pushed record on a machine. I mean,
well, there's more than that. Not only do you have to press the record button, but you also have to at some point press stop.
Well, Harry Smith is famous for the Anthology of American Folk Music, the 6-album set released in 1952.
Okay. Actually, it's one of those things that I probably should know. Thank you for educating me, Dave. And I'm using the word educating because, the Fugs, what they do is they educate. They don't educate, they educate. That is a fact, That's just their way of, bringing the knowledge. It's through education, not education. There is a difference. Would you not say?
But you know what I think is kind of weird for such a legendary band. Okay, like even if you look at All right, if you look at it like Ed Sanders, like bio, right, in the first sentence, because it was my understanding he's a fairly well-known poet, but in the first, sentence, it mentions longtime member of the Fugs, right? And same with Thule, right? So this was more than a side project for them, right? So the
Side
band is
project, and
fairly
yet-
legendary, but Jason, what
But they
interests
were-
me is
But they had
I think they're
offers.
kind of hard to hear about. Like
Well, they were
I didn't. Okay, like you don't come across their music. Their music doesn't show up in movies or anything usually.
Well, yeah. Here, let's backtrack.
Okay.
Let's backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So my first exposure to this band,
Yeah.
my first exposure was, and this is a funny thing because in previous episodes of this Blown Speakers, there's been like, oh, Jason. Sorry, my name's Jason, by the way. Jason introduced Dave to this obscure band or that obscure band, and Jason introduced this guy to me or this noise person to me. But when I came to Japan, I didn't know shit from Shinola, and I still don't know shit from Shinola. And one of the shit from Shinolas that I didn't know was the Fugs. Actually, I didn't know anything about these guys. So actually, Dave introduced me to this band, right? So like, I was totally into like all kinds of crazy shit, literally. Excrement that was, like if you looked at it, you'd say like that excrement, it's not just regular excrement. It's like it's got some issues. This is excrement that probably requires therapy. So I was all into that. And yet I didn't know anything about the Fugs. So like Dave, the person who on my screen is below me, but I don't know how he appears on your screen. This guy.
I'm above
he
you.
Actually introduced me to the band, right? Yeah. So maybe he's up here, maybe he's down here. I don't know. Anyway, wherever the fuck he is, he's the dude who introduced me to the band, and which I mean, and some people might be saying, well, what? The Fugs, they're like pretty well known as, if you're into weird music or like even underground music or whatever, but like I didn't know shit about these guys. And like the first reference to these guys was there's a Japanese band called the Hanatarashi or Hanatarashi, and they actually covered a Fugs song. Of course, in that same album, they also covered a Chipmunks song. So, God save the Queen. Oh, well, maybe they didn't. Or did they? Anyway, who gives a fuck? Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the same album they covered a Fugs song and a Chipmunk song. So whatever. But the point is, maybe Hanatarashi knew about these guys. Hanatarashi, a band who dates back from like the early '80s or mid '80s. But I didn't know shit about them.
Right. So, do you remember when I first?
Actually on this side of me now.
So, Jason, or Soggy-san. So can you tell the story? Can you tell the story when I first played them for you? Was it in the legendary smoking room?
It wasn't this. Of course, it was. It would have had to have been. It would have had to have been.
So what song do you remember really gripping you on that evening?
Actually, it was more like, I think, because we'd kind of chill out in that room and shit would just be playing, right? Because we're kind of chilling out.
Yeah.
Pouring stuff into glasses and then drinking it and hearing it and ingesting it.
That did happen.
And I think so I wouldn't nail it down to a specific moment or note or song or such, but it was just like a continuous bombardment of awesomeness. It's like I couldn't believe how awesome the Nothing song was. It's like, holy fuck, where have you been all my life? Nothing.
Yeah.
And the CIA song, and then Defeated, and then all of this band.
Yeah.
They speak to my inner Soggy, which is my id. Speaks to the id, to that kid, to the id, to that, essential kind of, I wouldn't call it terribly politically correct. So with apologies to anyone who's not particularly hip to where they went. And with respect on that point, Sanders actually, Ed Sanders, the intellectual of the group, in my opinion, does apologize for their the antics, shall we say, the testosterone infused antics, as it's put in one particular article. But I mean, as a 23-year-old who had, that shit spoke to me at that time. Hell yeah.
The album would have been.
So it was just, the sheer irreverence of it. It was like, okay, this is the Residents transported back in time before people were using synthesizers and shit, where they actually had to play instruments, with your hands physically. This is the Residents and all those fucking guys transported back in time. Similar sentiments, different modes, means, instrumentation, and so forth, and yet you can still, the vibe is there. Totally iconoclastic, if I'm using the word correctly, to say the least. And let's just say one thing: they were funny as fug, like really fucking funny shit. Like one line, you're like, shit, that's deep. That's deep as fuck. Whilst you're laughing your ass off. Like these guys, like you said, they're poets. Like they can.
Yeah, they were literally poets. So yeah,
they were literally poets. Like, and also Thule, like the deep voice dude, like that dude, he had the comic timing of the Burroughs, right? He also had the deep voice of the Burroughs, right? It was so perfect. Like any time he was on, you're like, this guy is awesome. He's just so funny. It didn't matter,
Well,
when I came back from the fucking army, like
Jason,
he would just,
I think
totally, like push his worldview so strongly, and he would just laugh every fucking time. And it wasn't. Let me just say, it was never a worldview that I was, not sympathetic to. I was always sympathetic to what they're trying to say. So I'm not saying that I'm like a pinko bastard, but on some level maybe I am. Like these guys, they fucking spoke to me, politically as well. For what that's worth, put that in your preference budget.
Soggy, I think they're the kind of band you need to hear a bit, right? I mean, so I want to play a bit for our viewers, right? Because it would be frustrating I would think, to just go on and people have no idea what they sound like, right? So I had read about them a bunch before I finally, got one of their albums, because it was hard to find. I found it in Chicago in '98. So when I played it to you, it would have been, probably less than a year after I bought it. And I knew like Lester Bangs wrote a lot about them, and he was crazy about them. So that was one reason I wanted to hear them. And
the way you talked about them was like you were super familiar with them. But I think it's just one of those things, like when a band really, man, I don't want to use this verb, but I can't think of a better verb. When a band really jives with you, when it really jives. I can't even say the verb with a straight face. When the band really resonates with you, while we're watching this awesome commercial, when the band really resonates with you, you feel like you know them because they speak to you. And I think I feel that's probably where you were coming from, right? You're like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, because for some strange reason, like when you first introduced the band, I'm like, this guy sounds like he's known this band forever. And it's probably the same way with me. Like once I heard the band, it's like, fuck, I've known this band forever because they speak to everything.
I thought it was interesting just these past few days when I listened to this album for the first time probably since me and you used to listen to it.
I love how you have this ridiculous. That's a great image. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was surprised at how just intact in my head the whole album is.
I'll be the woman.
It's so
Yes, honey. Yes, honey.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play
I got my.
All right.
噛める嬉しさ、食べる幸せ、お家でも楽しみたいですよね。
The culture, the commercial. All right, let's do it.
Wonderful.
Wednesday and Thursday, nothing. Friday for a change, a little more, nothing. Saturday once more, nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday and Wednesday, nothing. Thursday for a change, a little more, nothing. Friday once more, nothing. A Monday, garnish, a Dienstag, garnish. Mittwoch, Donnerstag, garnished. Freitag for a Novena, garnished. Kegela, Shabbos, Freitag, garnished. Lunes nada, martes nada, miércoles y jueves nada. Viernes por cambio un poco más nada, sábado otra vez nada, nada. January nothing, February nothing, March and April nothing. May and June are lot more, nothing. July, nothing. 29, nothing. 32, nothing. 39, 45, nothing. 1965, a whole lot, nothing. 1966, nothing. Reading, nothing. Writing, nothing. Even arithmetic, nothing. Geography, philosophy, history, nothing. Social anthropology, nothing. Oh, Village Voice, nothing. New Yorker, nothing. Sang out in folkways, nothing. Harry Smith and Allen Ginsberg, nothing, nothing, nothing. Poetry, nothing. Music, nothing. Painting and dancing, nothing. The world's great books, a great set of nothing. Audie and body, nothing. A fucking nothing, sucking nothing. Flesh and sex, nothing. Church and Times Square, all a lot of nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Stevenson, nothing. A Humphrey, nothing. Averill, Harriman, nothing. John Stuart Mill, nil. Franklin Delano, nothing. Carlos Marx, nothing. Engels, nothing. Bakunin, Kropotkin, nothing. Leon Trotsky, lots of nothing. Stalin, less than nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Nothing, lots of nothing. Nothing, 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 lots of it, nothing, 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 not a goddamn thing.
Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah. So
Right?
yeah, it's a good entry
Good song.
point, huh? That song. Nothing.
It is the entry point, right? Like yeah, I don't know. I can't. I think we could just stop the broadcast now. Enough said. Fugs, nothing. Sanders, nothing. Julian, whatever the fuck his name's, nothing. Look at this guy holding the mic. It's Parshoff, nothing. Wikipedia, nothing. Drinking wine, nothing. Shit hat, nothing. Wearing the stupid fucking shirt is nothing. Keep industrial out of harsh noise is fucking nothing. Watching this YouTube, nothing. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Sorry. I promise that'll be the last time.
Let's see. So it's interesting that came out on the ESP disc label. They were famous for free jazz, right? Pharoah Sanders, Ornette Coleman.
What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, ESP is famous for free jazz. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
that's Eiler. True. I mean, especially I saw
well, I know you're a big Eiler fan, yeah.
Yeah, if this was the right order, the Fugs was the 18th album they put out, and everything before that was total jazz, right? So it was interesting that they they had that connection. I guess William S. was releasing stuff on there.
Yeah, it sounds like Burroughs. It sounds like everyone, Burroughs was always cool somehow. I don't know why. Well, everyone does know why, because he had a way with words and an incredibly authoritative delivery.
He was his own scene.
Right? Well, yeah, he was literally a scene unto himself. I think anyone of any note would have wanted to associate themselves with Burroughs just for that Burroughs cred, right? And it's not, let's not shit on that cred. We gotta do an episode on like one of those Burroughs albums. Like there's shitloads of Burroughs albums.
Yeah, especially when
word.
He's not singing Burroughs albums. That would be cool.
Yeah,
Burroughs albums.
The hipster bebop junkie.
Yeah, he used to come to their events and stuff. Or at least he came to one of their events I read about. Yeah, but here I was talking about Lester Bangs.
I would right? Probably say
legendary critic, right? Was a huge fan of and in 71 issued a great magazine.
Well, because Sanders, for example, is a poet. So Sanders and Burroughs actually appeared on a lot of albums together, put out by, what the fuck was his name? Giovanni, some dude, like this poet dude in New York, put out a shitload of these spoken word poetry albums, and you'd have Sanders on some of those, not Pharoah Sanders, Ed Sanders, Burroughs, and all kinds of other luminaries, or luminaries, Brian Geisen, all the rest of these fucking guys. Anyway, the point is, Burroughs, I think Burroughs is kind of this, I don't know what he was, man. He was like a phenomenon. Phenomenon.
So it's confusing because their early stuff was like re-released and repackaged all different times. So I mean, I don't know. The Fugs first album,
sorry, please keep going, Dave. Sorry.
What I have came out in 93, and it has the original 10 songs, of which we just heard the last track, Nothing, right? but it also has this. Okay, there's the lineup to some degree, but it also has a ton of bonus material. And as we were discussing before, like a lot of this bonus material is really classic stuff.
Yeah. So like Defeated, and of course We're the Fugs and CIA Man. Like these are all super classics.
Yeah, like I mean, in this version of CIA Man for me is much better than the more widely known, or it seems to be more widely known, kind of electric version of CIA. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, like definitely the version on this album is way better. Like you know, even from the very start where Thule's like, "Who can kill a general in his bed?" Like right there, you know, it's awesome. Like who the hell goes? Who can kill a general in his bed?
Yeah, that's a great
overthrow dictators if they're red. Holy fuck. Those are like, if you're a hip hopper, those are fucking bars, man. Those are fucking bars. Bars till the fucking cows come home. Fucking hell. And Defeated. When that I was a little boy, my mom defeated me. She would not let me play with my cock.
Yeah, there you go. Defeated.
I'm an apple tree.
But,
Sorry.
Now look, this is a highly specialized circumstance. You have to get close to the microphone.
Can we have the note? Can we have the a chord? Or it's not...
When I was a little boy, my mama defeated me.
The engineer is becoming very difficult, but try to keep a certain distance from the microphone.
Right here. Right here.
Because sometimes you're here and sometimes you're there.
Let's try D then. Let's not play it in E. Yeah, all right, D. Let's try D. All right, let's. For now on, nothing holds us back. Cacophony forever. From now on, no stopping. All right, let's go.
When that I was a little boy, my mommy defeated me. She would not let me play with my cock, no suck on a soft titty. Defeated, I know I am defeated. Defeated, you are defeated too. When that I went to a little school, my teacher defeated me. She would not let me sing at my desk, nor climb on an apple tree. Defeated, I know I am defeated. Defeated, you are defeated too. When that I went to a little church, my preacher defeated me. He told me I sinned when I talked about love, and I'm damned to eternity. Defeated, I know I am defeated. Defeated, you are defeated too. When that I was a little man, the government said to me, I want 3 years and perhaps your life to kill my enemy. Defeated, I know I am defeated. Defeated, you are defeated too. When I returned from the fucking army, my boss, he said to me, I buy your life for $3,000 a year, and after 60 you free. Oh yeah, after 60 you free. Defeated, I know I am defeated. Defeated, you are defeated too. You are defeated too. You are defeated too. You defeated, man. Me too.
From the core songs, you know, I'm a big Slum Goddess fan. I think it's a great way to kick off the album.
The Slum Goddess is definitely one of their big hits. And actually, I didn't know that. So it's Ken Weaver that wrote that one. Interesting. And he also wrote I Couldn't Get High. Okay.
Couldn't Get High.
I'm not a huge fan of Couldn't Get High. It just seems kind of all right.
It's funny. I think it's funny.
It is actually.
Carpe Diem is a great one.
Yeah.
Boobs a lot. Yes, there's a lot going
I
on.
remember that
even
you
within-
like the boobs a lot, but that's not one of my favorites. Yeah. But...
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do like kind of the short rocker ones, and I would say like Slum Goddess and Boobs a lot. I would put in that category, proto punk type stuff.
There you go, Steve Weaver. Maybe Steve Weaver's your boy, Dave.
But this is Steve Weber. This is Ken Weaver, right? So, but then Weaver does.
Oh shit! You're right.
Yeah, but well, yeah, but no, that's just.
I do apologies to Weber and Weaver.
Yes.
So sorry. Who is Ken Weaver?
So he's the guy that's considered the three core guys. He's the third, right? So Ed Sanders.
So who's Steve Weber?
Steve Weber just must be a guy that. All right, Steve Weber, guitar and vocals. All right, so I have the.
Oh, Weber's a vocal.
Here we go.
Guitar.
Here we go, Soggy. So these are the three main guys. Ed Sanders, vocals. Thule, percussion and vocals. Kevin Weaver, right? Conga, drums, vocals. These are the three core guys. And everybody else kind of comes in and out of the band. This guy, Pete Stamfel, was a member of the Holy Modal Rounders.
I think more than not just
and
Steve,
Steve Weber. Yeah. So Soggy, these two guys, right? Steve Weber and Peter Stamfel, the Holy Modal Rounders, psychedelic folk or freak folk, long before freak folk existed, but yeah.
But they were pretty freaky and they're pretty folky.
Yeah. So I guess they just kind of they would join the Fugs at certain moments. So they were on it for this album.
Yeah, like when like Sanders tried to like swim and climb on that nuclear sub. They were there.
So what's
that story? You know that story?
No, but so what's the story there?
Well, it was the time that Sanders spent his time in jail for like some months. Yeah, so apparently they were protesting the idea of having a nuclear submarine, right? And he said, according to one interview, they practiced and practiced, like swimming and escaping frogmen. And that the day came and then they did the protest and he was caught. And he spent time in jail. Sanderson, you're in jail. Hi, Mom, I'm in jail. So yeah, Sanderson? No, it was Sanders. Sanders. Yeah, so Sanders spent time in jail due to those antics of, attempting, but possibly not actually succeeding in climbing onto a nuclear capable of wiping out existence as we know it submarine. I think if you collected all of the nuclear submarines in existence and put them all together and just blew them up, you would kill every fucking human on the fucking planet. But anyway, he protested that. And for that, protesting the idea that you can kill everyone by just fucking something up, he was arrested and put in jail for some months, and then he actually wrote a poem, which actually then became a Fugs song, which I've got somewhere, but which I don't have too handy. But it is his first supreme anti-war song. And the Fugs, if they were anti anything, they were anti-war. Very, very, very much. And if you didn't get that from listening to the Fugs, you're fucking deaf or blind or refusing to acknowledge. But like they were very, very much against that.
I like that story about when they tried to levitate the Pentagon.
No, I don't think they tried to levitate it. I just thought they tried to.
No, through meditation, the purpose of their chanting and meditating, I guess they surrounded the yard of the Pentagon, and everyone was chanting, and the idea was that through meditation they were going to actually levitate the Pentagon.
I think the actual
Norman Mailer was
that,
there. He wrote a book about it.
Yeah, but I don't think their purpose was to levitate it. I think it was just simply to, if you actually look, because there's a song, you know what? And what's going to happen here, and you don't know this now, Dave, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video, I'm going to splice it in exactly this moment when they, so listen up. They're going to exorcise the demons in the Pentagon. That was their point. To exorcise, not exercise.
Yeah, but I think they wanted it to levitate, and then the demons would scatter.
Yeah, but if you listen to the song, that's not what's going on, man.
Really? I like that idea, though. I wish they would have done that.
I like the idea too, but they were talking about, like, you know, just, you know, through, you know, good old loving, good old fashioned loving, bringing the guy in, giving him some loving, and maybe then he will not be so hard for, you know, mutually assured destruction. That was what I got from that. And I didn't get anything about levitating a fucking Pentagon.
I mean,
excuse my French.
I read it. I think it's a widely read book. Mainly.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like from what I read, and if you actually listen to the song, and it's because it's one of their songs, right? It's like when they're exercising, like exorcising the demons in the Pentagon. They, you know, they do what they can. They do what they can, man. They do what they can. You know, like there's only so much a human can do to bring a demon out of the Pentagon. But they did what they could. You know, but in that whole medley, that whole seance, whatever the fuck they were doing, there's nothing about levitation. It was just about, you know, helping certain spirits of certain persons to understand and recognize love.
I think it's just assumed. I think it's just assumed that they're expecting the building to levitate.
But listen to the song, man. Listen to it, man. Like it's so clear that they're supremely taking the piss, number one. And number two, there's nothing mentioned in that whole, it's like I forget how long it is. It's somewhere between 8 and 15 minutes or something like that. That's on CD. I'm sure it's a much, you know, edited from a much, much longer episode. You know, you got Ginsberg, you know, delivering, you know, this part, and another guy delivering this part. And it's fucking brilliant. But
we call upon the spirit to raise the Pentagon from its destiny and preserve it in the names and all the names. It is you. Out, demon, out. Out, demon, out. Demon out, demon out, demon out, demon out, out, demons out, out, demons out, out, demons out, out, demons out. For the first time in the history of the Pentagon, there will be a grope in within 100 feet of this place, within 200 feet. Purity! Seminal culmination in the spirit of peace and brotherhood, a real grope for peace. All of you who want to protect this right of love may form a circle of protection around the lovers. Circle of protection.
Out, demons, out. Out, demons.
These are the magic eyes of victory. Victory, victory for peace. Money made the Pentagon melt it.
You gotta love Sanders' Fugs sweatshirt here. Like it looks like a university sweatshirt. Just making a mockery of all that's good and wholesome in America in the mid 60s. You know.
I suppose. But I never, the funny thing is, just based on like him in interviews and like the videoed interviews, he comes off as this very serious person. Very serious person. Like he's not fucking around. Like he comes off as a, like, I hate to say it, but like basically an intellectual, actually. Thule is a bit smarter. He kind of put a gate and he kind of separated himself from that intellectualism and kept his kind of street beat cred. And that may be the difference between the Beat generation, which had a kind of street beat, credence, and the later guys like Sanders, who's much older, much younger. Sanders, how many years younger was he than Thule? Like,
so we should try to give some facts in this. All right, so Sanders was born in 39, right?
Yep.
And Thule was born in 23, right? So there's a 16-year gap, 15 or 16 years between these guys. Yeah, that's a big, that's a big age gap.
Yeah, so you can see Thule is kind of this guy who's just like getting off on these kids who just vibe with me, right? Whereas with Sanders, you gotta get the feel of this is a guy who's pushing his ideal.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that he has very specific ideas, very specific, and quite radical in their way. Sanders,
social activist, environmentalist.
I feel that Thule approved, but Thule was kind of removed from that. I felt that he was more, I don't know, just taking the piss. That's what I felt Thule was doing.
Thule astutely realized that if a song became associated with a dance craze, the frug, the twist, the monkey, the fish, or the mashed potato, then even a beatnik songcrafter could reap bundles of cash, mountains of moolah, plethora of penenzi.
Let's fug, baby, let's fug, let's fug, baby, let's fug, let's fug. Baby, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug. Baby, let's fug, let's fug. Baby, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug. Baby, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug, let's fug.
So Sanders
kind of
65. He's like 25 or 26 years old. Sanders, and then Thule would have been in his early 40s. I think with a couple kids, I know.
I mean,
if not more kids. I know he has kids.
Probably. Yeah. But yeah, like, so like, like we're talking about, like, it's kind of a stupid thing to do, like to play this generational stupid thing, because, these are kindred spirits, right? And, whether your name is Thule or whether your name is Sanders, both of these guys speak to me on the same level. For me, personally, this guy, this broadcast, this YouTube. you know, like these people, they know their shit. I don't know. Like, what am I trying to say here? I kind of.
Well, why don't you hold that thought? I need a quick rest break. Just a moment.
One of the Fugs' most popular songs became an anthem of its era, a sort of pre-postmodern 20th century sutra. Let's hear it for nothing.
Tune traditional Yiddish. Bulbous. Words by Thule. New words. You ready? Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday and Thursday, nothing. Friday for a change, a little more nothing. Saturday, also nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday and Wednesday, nothing. Thursday for a change, a little more nothing. Friday, also nothing.
Okay, well, one thing. So I just realized the correct pronunciation of Thule's last name is Kupferberg. Before I was trying to say Coop Fur, but the P and F kind of blend together. No, the P is silent. Kupferberg. Thule Kupferberg. Does that sound right to you? Kupferberg?
Honestly, do you want me to say my honest opinion?
But they just said it on that recording, right?
Yeah. You know, you don't need to hear my honest opinion.
Okay, so
Soggy's
plan.
I don't give.
And here's yet another dance single Thule fashioned, this time cunningly focusing on the hypothalamus, the part of the brain associated with thrills, eros, and forbidden fun.
Hypothalamus, 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 that's the brain for me. Hypothalamus, 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 that's the brain for me.
Well, no, I want to pronounce his name correctly.
No, I do. I do too. Yeah, because it's like it's kind of ridiculous if you can't fucking pronounce the name correctly.
But the recording you just played, now that was,
yes.
And we were not recording at the time, so our viewers did not hear. Now that was a little bit from the Rhapsody of Thule. Is that correct?
It was not actually. It was not. It's from a different album. Yeah.
And the following ditty, which analyzed with enormous precision the macho qualities of the brother-sister bond.
Mister, I wanna fuck your sister. Mister, I wanna fuck your sister.
But
okay, so okay, what you want to do is you want,
but it basically, nevertheless, it's kind of like it's in the Thule universe. Like you can kind of feel
the Thuleverse.
Yeah, the Thuleverse, yeah. Because seriously, with Ed Sanders, you feel there's an ideologue. I mean, a very great person.
Sure.
You know, like we're talking about a very great person.
Mm-hmm.
Who is in tune to A, B, and C. And yet, when you go back to Thule, you're like, this guy is just, you just fucking love this guy. I don't know. I just, the Thule character, the whole character, I mean, I don't know how real any of this is. We're talking about like
Well, I want you to explain that because I don't know what you mean exactly. So, well, yeah, what are your thoughts exactly on Cooley? Thule?
Well, he just comes off as like, it's that meme of the uncle, that uncle that nobody likes because he's got these radical thoughts, and they might be radically right-wing thoughts or radically left-wing thoughts, and they might be radically, like penis wing thoughts, right? But the point is that they still annoy your mother. They annoy your mother because your mother is trying to raise a family. But here comes Thule, and he doesn't give a shit about any of that. And he is just coming hard, and he's coming very hard, and he's coming, undeniably coming, and he's hard. And the humor of it is so hard, and yet, like I can't exactly explain it. But like when he speaks, like you're like, this guy speaks to me on so many levels. He is obviously smart. He's obviously got his shit together, and yet he is willing and able to communicate on a level that is much more, it's like he wants to come off as like a kind of guy for the people. Like I think this guy, he would be like a contender for president.
Woke up this morning with my sweetheart in my hand. Guess I got an overactive gland. Got the jack of blues. My baby left me for another man. Guess I'll have to do best that I can. Got the jack of blues.
Because he's just smart. He's just really smart, and yet at the same time he's I don't know, like this dude is really smart. He's dark.
He's a pacifist anarchist.
Yeah, exactly. And he will take the risks that 99.9% of the people will not take. But he will do that shit. He's that guy that does that shit that you knew from school. Remember that guy? Remember that guy from school that you would say, like, like, he does that fucking crazy shit. He does that shit. He does that shit. He's the fucking guy that does the shit. But he does it with like a supreme style, right? Like he's not just fucking around. And I don't know, like it's like every single word out of his mouth makes me laugh. I don't know.
Life is funny, life is free, got all of them goodies coming to me. It's so funny, I could cry. It's so funny, you could die. It's so funny.
I did actually. But yeah. Okay. So
well, I need to play some more songs, I think.
Yeah, so okay. We got this great song, which I feel is so representative of where he is from.
Stop. It's 12-tone music, boy. I'm gonna kill myself over your dead body.
I'm gonna kill myself over your dead body if you fuck anybody but me. You may think I'm being kinda shy, but that's the way it's gotta be. I'm gonna kill myself over your dead body if you fuck anybody but me. I'll follow ya even to Passamaquoddy and shoot you neath the apple tree. I'm gonna kill myself over your dead body if you fuck anybody but me. That's how much I love you, baby.
You're obviously running out of material.
Okay, just to get us back on track, I'm gonna play a track.
Oh wait, but it's not time to start yet.
Ready, go?
Let's start going. You know, let's start
Going.
Oh, we love grass. Oh, we love ass. Oh, we wanna hug her. We wanna bug her. We like it hot. Oh, we like a pot. Oh, we scoff pills. Oh, we eat a pussy. We ain't fussy. Oh, east side. Oh, we're on the east side. And we're the Fugs. Oh, we hate a war. Oh, we love sex. Twos are threes. Fours are fives. LSD. A dimethyl tripped. A grope for peace. A naked and ready. Poets and freaks. A mad motherfucker. So east side. We're on the east side. And we're the Fugs.
Yeah. So I always wondered, you still there?
I'm here.
So who is this slum goddess?
I don't know. I mean, I think they all lived on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and could have been anyone they hung out with, because I guess they lived in the slums, or they referred to it as the slums. But I think it was just a repurposed part of Manhattan. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great way to kick off the album, don't you think?
Sorry, are you saying that's, because that's actually, it is.
And he's going to make her his bride.
Yeah.
So things are going to work out.
I thought both Sanders and the Thule dude, they stayed with the same woman,
Mm-hmm.
for like their whole effing lives, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't. I
That's
don't know
why
much
that
about their
was-
personal lives.
So it seems to be. Yeah.
Hmm. So,
God is from the Lower East Side. Yeah.
okay, but don't you think it's interesting that it would have been relatively easy to have never heard of this band, right? They just don't come up much. I feel like they don't come up much in articles and whatnot. And so like in one respect they're forgotten, but then in another respect they're like totally revered, right? So I think they're on very unique footing.
Right. So
You know?
you mean, yeah.
Okay, like
Well-
when Thule got sick in 2010, he had a stroke, and there was like a benefit for him, and Lou Reed and Sonic Youth and Lenny Kaye from the Patti Smith group, like were involved in this benefit, right? I mean, they're so revered that when he gets sick, like Lou Reed and the Sonic Youth show up, but on the other hand, I mean, if I didn't seek out this album, that I would have never heard it.
Are you
know what I
saying
mean?
you sought out the album?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So I read about
Well, because
it.
I actually don't know how you first got into the album.
I read, I was on a kick for kind of lo-fi outsider stuff. And I read about them, maybe in this Spin alternative album guide. I might have read about them there. And I think maybe my roommate had the Lester Bangs book, and Lester Bangs had a few articles about the Fugs. I'm like, okay, I got to hear these guys, right? And pre-internet, it means you gotta find the album. So yeah, I would look around for it at little record stores, but I didn't find it until I was in like this giant Tower Records in Chicago that had like everything. And I bought the Fugs and I bought the Shags same day because there were CDs I had been looking for it. I found them both on the same day. In a giant.
That must have been an experience, right?
Yeah. And yeah, so I had to go look for them. Like nowadays, of course, it's easier if you come across their name in an article or whatever. You would look them up on YouTube and listen to a few tracks, right? But anyway, I think it's weird how little they come up in conversation. I mean, if they are okay, like compare them to Frank Zappa. Like you can't turn around without seeing a picture of Frank Zappa, right?
Hey, did you know Frank Zappa? He was actually very dismissive of the Fugs, right?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah, please.
He's like, they are just smut. That was Frank Zappa's line. They are just smut.
Mm-hmm.
Smut.
I wasn't. Are you making that up, or did he seriously said that? Jason, he said.
No, he said they are. The Fugs are fugging smut.
Well, I wasn't ripping on Frank Zappa. Anyways, my point was that just like a lot of
the people. My point is ripping on him. Why not? Why shouldn't we rip on anyone? Let's rip on these people.
So, Jason, did he really
Frank
say
Zappa,
that?
fuck you, you mother. fucking.
So, Jason, did he say that, or are you making this up?
No, I am totally not making this up. Frank Zappa actually sincerely objected to Fugs.
But he's a big
He
like
objected
free
to them.
speech proponent, right? So what was his point?
And yet at the same time he objected to the Fugs. He felt that because it's like it's on so many levels. If you can't get the awesomeness that is the Fugs, as they say in Japan, yoga fucking nothing, no ginger. No ginger for you. Shogun. I'm telling you, man. The dude to which I refer, who, by the way, is named Frank Zappa. He honestly, he was not into the Fugs. And he felt that they were, I don't know, like I wanted to say, I don't know, are they heathens or something like that?
Crazy bohemians?
Something like that, yeah.
Wait a minute, but Frank Zappa loved the Shags.
I do know that.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Was he yeah, isn't he the one that said the Shags are better than the Beatles? Wasn't that Frank Zappa?
That's probably him, yeah. I really don't want to talk about Frank Zappa because I don't, my whole life, the influence that Frank Zappa has had has been basically nil.
Yeah.
Nil.
But you know exactly who he is. Like, that's my point.
Yeah, I know who he is, and I like the Residents, and I like the Fugs, and yet
Frank Zappa doesn't like the Residents. You're saying?
I don't know what he thinks of the fucking Residents. I thought honestly, I think he's possibly a member of the fucking Residents at some point. But for whatever reason, like he's like Fugs, they're smut. I don't know, it's quoted in an article and in some fucking magazine. I don't know.
All right.
He might have been misquoted, but whatever. I mean, the Fugs were pretty smutty, right? Let's face it, they were, right?
All right, just a moment.
Their whole shtick was.
Yeah, I mean, I did find a quote that
whole
said,
shtick was like,
the Smugs are not in good taste. He said to.
Did you say the Smugs?
I'm sorry, the Fugs are not in good place.
No, but I like the Smugs. The Smugs,
right.
somewhere between
the Fugs are not in good taste.
And the Smurfs.
Frank Zappa said to Hit Parader magazine in 1967. Well, Jason, Smoggy-san, just a moment. All right, so you're going to read a poem. This is by Thule?
No. This is not a poem. This is like basically attached to an album.
Liner notes.
Yes.
You're going to read liner notes from the third album.
Was it the third or the fourth? I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Yes, go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the world view of the Fugs, but actually Ed Sanders. In the 60s, in the mid 60s, I'm pretty sure that Ed Sanders has different viewpoints on that. I don't want to speak to that, but okay, here we go. Onward, earthlings. We wax weary of the tadpole's smegma, served to us as the primal data of the nations of Earth, in the face of a world led by a command generation of savage Honko Cossack marauder pirates, poisoning our air, murdering our youth, and defiling our ethics. We declare our continuing commitment to the possibility of a benign civilization and the absolute right of each man on earth to, number one,
Yeah, bring it on.
number one, a guaranteed grope. Number two, land and money. Number three, longevity. Number four, happiness. Number five, freedom. Number six, supplies for his art. His art?
The what for his?
His art. They didn't say her art. But you know, it's in the 60s, you know, like apparently women were not included. Seven, sheep. We wave the banners of these God-lit principles even now, while Dom Dom Doom marches in waving a carrot, and in the dreams of our warlords, mutant fruit flies devour syrup-coated telephone poles. Somehow, great slurgles of glee, humor, horniness, and peacecraft can still escape our lips. For you, for us, for the love that can spurt and flow from the surfaces of song and poetry. The benevolent city of ivory-colored grope spires in our vision. And all of us, all lovers and drooling minstrels, abroad, the chariots of the abyss, bend back into the terror. Take knowledge of the city of love we wish to create. Flash it! The fig fist, and spew onward, attempting radiance into the skush. Onward! Grope for peace. Love the earth. We have escaped the scone drivel. Up against the wall. And Sanders. Pretty good. Pretty good. Actually, it's very good. You know, like that piece of poetry that I just threw over my shoulder is better than the whole oeuvre of the fugging fugs, but you know, to each his own.
Wait, but I thought you liked the Fugs.
Well, I mean, he's a member of the Fugs.
Oh, you're saying that poem is better than any of their songs?
It's difficult, right? Because it resonates on different levels, right? Because music I feel it's stupid to even answer this question. It's like I feel like I'm being trolled for this question, right? Like, what? Obviously, it goes without question. It goes without question. But there are questions. And yet at the same time, you're like, well, yes, of course. But at the same time, you got to back up. So yes, that poem, which I threw over my shoulder, yeah, that fucking kills the Fugs. That kills it. It's better than the Fugs, right?
But it was included in a Fugs album.
But it would just depend on where you sit, right? It would depend where you sit, right? Because like, well, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? No, I actually want to know what you want.
I want to levitate the Pentagon.
Oh, me too, actually, me too. But you know, I just like when you read this Shizer, you're like, this guy. Like you can feel the energy, the not only the energy but the intellect, and not only the intellect, the energy of the intellect, but the humor, right? The energy, the humor, the energy, the intellect, and the humor.
The big three.
Well, in my book, yes. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, man, because it can resonate or not. There's a choice there, right? Because when people can wax, you know, I don't know, stupidest, whatever you want to call it, us, on some level, you can back up it, you can say whatever you want, and yet these people said it.
So you appreciate Ed and Thule. So before I thought you were kind of leaning heavily toward Thule.
Because like when you see the whole thing, and when you see Ed Sanders, like his total devotion to what he believes, you're like, man. And the articulation of his vision, you're like, it's hard to disagree. I don't know, how do you feel as an American, Dave? Because I'm like a Canadian. What's your honest opinion about these guys?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like his politics are spot on. Yeah. Well, I mean, what you just read, there are, flashes of sexism in there, but as you said, he cleaned that up later. Right.
We wave the banners of these God-lit principles even now, while Dum Dum Doom marches and waving in a carrot. In the dreams of warlords, mutant fruit flies devour syrup-coated telephone poles, somehow great. Slur girls of glee, humor, horniness, and peacecraft can still escape our lips, for you, for us, for the love that can spurt and flow from the surfaces of song and poetry. The benevolent city of ivory colored grope spires in our vision, and all of us all. And the other part of the paper has.
But I'm certainly against nuclear submarines and the Pentagon. I imagine, of course, was that him or Thule that was involved in the Pentagon, or both of them? But no, I mean, I see what you mean. I mean,
I would say that they were both. I would say what they were kindred spirits, right?
Uh-huh.
Lovers and drooling minstrels aboard the chariots of the abyss bend back into their terror. Take knowledge of the city of love we wish to create, flash it in the fig fist, and spew onward, attempting radiance into the skush. Onward!
No, it sounds
Onward.
cool. I mean, have you ever tried to look up like footage of him reading that poem?
Actually, no.
That would be cool.
But it's wow, it's I don't know, it's like yeah, definitely this is not woke, but we're talking about like 50 or 60 or 70 years. Well, okay, not 70 years.
Oh, mid 60s, right? So yeah, 55 years ago. Yeah, absolutely.
70,
Long
80,
time ago.
90, 10, 20. We're talking about like a lot of time has passed, right?
But you said he read that. Yeah, he read that in that has been episode 56, I believe. Of
one of those numbers.
Monday, nothing, and Tuesday, nothing. Mercury, jueves, nada. Friday for a change, a garnish kiggle. Shabbos, reverently nothing. And Roosevelt fake, nothing. Truman Ruddy, nothing. Eisenhower, dopey, nothing. Johnson, Nixon, humongous bricks, and Reagan, the war star, nothing. And Karl Marx, nothing. Trotsky, nothing. Bakunin, Kropotkin, notkin. John Stuart Mill, nil. Yeltsin, less than nothing. Idiotics, nothing. Semiotics, nothing. Wittgenstein and Russell, nothing. Jean-Paul Sartre, dead old father. Is Heisenberg or is he not? Nothing. Da Vinci, nothing. Stravinci, nothing. Monet and Manet, monotony. Minimalism is abysmalism. And John Cage's
Woggy woogie wokey wiki waggy woogie woggy wokey oggy oogie oggy oogie oggy oogie oggy oggy.
They try to tell us we're too old to really get it on. They say that love's a vice that once was nice, that we've forgot the meaning of. And yet, we're not too old to know. These glands will last though years may go. And then someday they may recall. Like us, they're not too old to bawl. Jesus Christ, nothing but Kufa, nothing Muhammad, Krishna, nothing Buddha, nada, Quaalude, dada, even John Lennon now is nothing. And Woodstock, nothing, MTV, nothing, Hollywood and PBS, nothing. Giants of literature, giants Bushy, bloody nothing with AIDS, tushes nothing, or pot, rapine, a veil, Abilene. War on poverty's now a war on the poor, and renting Clinton's handsome nothing, and marriage is nothing, ain't divorce something, well having kids is nothing. They all grow up and leave you anyway. Lost sons and daughters of nothing. You're telling me that's it?
That's it.